Hello there, Ray here. And in the last snapshot, they changed the way that TNT and TNT minecarts, they no longer have a chance of losing the blocks that they explode. So today we'll be doing a bunch of testing with it and coming up with some new ideas on what we can use this for. I forgot to put the clip in where I talked about this during the snapshot review, so I'll be going over it now. So in the snapshot 11a, they changed the way that TNT explosions will drop blocks as well as TNT minecarts. And now every time TNT blows up, it will have a 100% chance of dropping the blocks that it will blow up. So let's go ahead and light this TNT and blow a hole. And notice all the blocks inside the hole. There is quite a few of them. And this is because it dropped every single one that it blew up. So let's pick these all up, and the way to test to see if it actually did drop every single one we'll do is we'll go back into survival mode. And you can see I have about a stack and a half, and let's go ahead and fill in this hole. If the hole gets completely filled in and there's no blocks left, that means it dropped exactly 100%. And there you go, the last two blocks. And it got completely filled in, meaning that whenever you have TNT blow up, it will always drop all the blocks that it blew up. Now this change also works with TNT minecarts, and let's go ahead and light this TNT minecart. And it did blow a nice little hole down in here, and you can see the amount of dirt blocks that it dropped, as well as stone. Now the stone did get converted over into cobblestone, so the TNT is not like Silk Touch. It's not going to produce stone or like keep the ores in their ore form. Now this change does not apply to creepers, so let's go ahead and place a creeper down here, or any other type of explosion. So we'll just use a flint and steel on the creeper and he'll blow up, and you can see that he dropped his blocks, but he didn't drop enough blocks to fill this in. So there's a lot of types of explosions in the game, like wither skulls, ender crystals, beds in the nether or the end dimension, and gas. All those guys still have a chance of destroying the blocks when they drop as item form. So it's just TNT and TNT minecarts, which you'll get all the blocks back. Now in the past, to get 100% drop, what we would do is convert the blocks into block 36, and when they are in block 36 and they get destroyed by explosion, they have a 100% chance of dropping their blocks. And the way you get block 36 form is by pushing them with a piston. What the game does is it will convert these into block 36, then move them into a new location, and then convert them back into the block you see. So you would go ahead and light the TNT, and then right before the TNT blows up, you push the blocks in block 36 form, and this would give a 100% chance of dropping the blocks when they were destroyed by the TNT. Now with this change, you don't have to worry about getting this precise timing when trying to blow up stuff and keep all the blocks, unless you're still working with other types of explosions that I mentioned before. But this change to TNT is going to make a huge difference, as all you have to do is put blocks all around a TNT and then ignite the TNT, and then watch the TNT blow up and drop all the blocks as item forms. The hardest part will just be collecting the items. So if you want to make like a cobblestone generator that has TNT that destroys the blocks, you don't have to worry about timing it just perfectly. And same goes for like a wood farm. This also means that TNT block quarries, which go ahead and destroy the blocks and drop them as item form, like the one that one of the ProtoTech members comment designed, they can be compacted down by quite a bit. Now you don't have to worry about timing the pushing of the blocks. So it's going to be really fascinating how compact we can get these new flying machines to be. So I made an illustration of this occurring. So we've got a bunch of end stone here, and normally what you do is you push these and then you explode them. So I just got some wiring underneath of here, which as soon as this end stone block is removed, then it's going to essentially put a TNT here that's going to immediately blow up, so we can see how many blocks it will drop. So endstone has a very high blast resistance, so if we go ahead and power this, they're all going to be pushed as block 36, and when they're moving, it's going to let the redstone power go through this and immediately cause the TNT to explode right there. And let's see how many blocks it blows up. You notice how it blew blocks from here all the way over to here. This is quite a large area since endstone has very high blast resistance, so you didn't expect it to blow such a large area. Because this block 36 form, blast resistance is lower, therefore you can blow up more blocks with a single TNT. So this time I'm just going to power the command and watch it blow up without pushing the blocks. And you can see the area in which it blows up the endstone is a lot smaller. This is because the blast resistance of endstone is much higher than the block 36 form. So even though the TNT will drop 100% of the blocks, as it's doing right here, it's still worth going ahead and pushing the blocks while the TNT is exploding, because you can blow up more blocks all at once. So you can see we pretty much got all the blocks back, so it didn't matter if it was in block 36 form or if it was in normal endstone form, it's going to give you all the blocks. But at least you don't have to worry about complicating a system if you don't want to. You can still get all your blocks back, but it's just going to use more TNT to destroy the same amount of blocks. This also opens the door to having TNT blow up other types of blocks, and maybe even coming up with some new type of farms using this. So what I want to do is test a whole bunch of blocks they normally don't think about having TNT blow up, and see if we can come up with some ideas. So I'm here in the debug world of Minecraft. Essentially this has every type of block in the game, with every variation of it. This is a great place to check out your texture pack. It's also a good place to get an idea of how many different types of blocks are inside of the game. And oftentimes I come here whenever I want to test something, or whenever I'm looking for ideas to test stuff with. Since there's so many different variations of blocks, a lot of times it brings great ideas here. Now this is also an ideal place for us to test the TNT, because the way that this world works is these blocks cannot be destroyed. Essentially when you try to break them, they're just going to replace again. And if you try to place down your own blocks, you can hear them getting placed down, but nothing actually gets placed down. So what I'll do is kind of fly around, and I will summon in TNT. And what that's going to do is blow up the blocks around me, and then it'll replace them, but then the items are still going to be there. You can see the items there, and the items fall all the way down to here, and then this is just some floor, which is made out of barrier blocks, so we can see what kind of blocks fall downwards. So we can see that these blocks all got blown up easily from it, but stuff like the leaves did not blow up and drop the block. And if we blow up these leaves a couple times, you see they do drop their sticks. So since most blocks drop 100% of the time, we should see a pretty consistent thing, and blocks that you typically think that when blown up would not drop their blocks, we're going to test those. Essentially what we're looking for is anything unusual or bizarre, because if TNT drops stuff 100% of the time, it could be extremely useful in a lot of situations. And since this never has occurred before in Minecraft, it's good to try all different types of blocks. That way we get a broad spectrum of different things we can use it for and not have a narrow view. So these leaves here, when blown up, they're producing the sticks, and they're also producing the saplings, which is great. So here's some podzol as well as some snow layered blocks. You see when we destroy those, we get some normal blocks. Except the coarse dirt keeps its form. Everything else converts over to dirt. So here's some lapis ore. You can see when we destroy it, it can produce XP as well as some items. So here we have some saplings, which represent a lot of different plant types. Let's go ahead and blow them up. And you say they drop their items. So even fragile blocks will drop their blocks as items. Now we got some bedrock as well as water here. So let's go ahead and try blowing it up. And notice that the bedrock doesn't drop its block, or neither does the water. So here we have 3 more ores. We got gold, iron, and coal. Let's blow them up. Now notice how the gold and iron will drop their blocks as block form, where the coal will go ahead and it'll try to drop XPs as well as the coal item, and it won't actually drop that coal block itself. So you could use this to obtain gold and iron ore in like a quarry, but coal is always going to be destroyed. So if you want to actually get the coal ore, you want to make sure that you have a quarry where the player has a silk touch pick, similar to like the one that Comment showed on his channel. Now there's a lot of variations of beds, but only one half of the bed will drop the bed. So if we blow these up, it's only the top half that will drop the bed, and sometimes you do a bunch of this exploding, the tile entities will actually vanish. And then you can still see their outline here and collide with them, and when you relog, it fixes it. So now we're over here by some piston heads as well as fire. Let's launch the TNT. And you see that the piston heads won't produce a piston, and the fire doesn't produce anything either. Now we're over by the base ends of them. So this is the piston bases. And let's go ahead and blow it up. You see those are the sides that will drop the piston. Now here are some more fragile blocks. When typically broken, will often produce something other than the block form. So something like seagrass, if you break it, you usually get nothing. Dead bushes will produce sticks when broken. They have a chance to. You also got ferns, which produce nothing, and grass, which can produce wheat seeds. And you got cobweb, which can produce string. Let's drop some TNT and see what happens. So we see we got some sticks. We also got some seeds, and you can see we got some string there as well. Notice how we didn't get any. Notice how we didn't get any of these blocks in their block form, so they couldn't be like placed down again after being blown up. Here are some more fragile blocks such as torches as well as rails. We'll just blow them up. You see they can easily be dropped. So we got some obsidian here as well as some bookshelves. And you see when we blew up the obsidian, nothing occurred. And we blew up a bookshelf, he just drops the books and not the block. Gotta be careful when igniting TNT around these guys, because as soon as they blow up, the game's going to place another TNT block there, and it's going to cause a constant loop of TNT blowing up here. And most common blocks will drop their block form. Even very high blast resistance blocks, such as like this iron and gold here, will blow up and drop their blocks. The TNT just has to be closer to them for them to blow up at all. You also got a bunch of fragile blocks here. You got mostly some flowers, and you also got some mushrooms here. and you see they easily drop their blocks. Now the world size got significantly larger ever since they added the waterlog variations, which pretty much doubled the amount of blocks that are in this world. Here you can see a bunch of waterlog signs. And when you try to blow up waterlog stuff, it will stay safe in the water. Notice down here we got only the dark oak signs as well as the ladders, which were on either side of this one, which is acacia one, and this one never did drop. Here we got some repeaters, some sugarcane, and some doors. Let's blow them up. Notice how they all drop. Now doors are similar to beds, only one half of them will actually drop the block and the other half will not. That way you don't get two items out of one door. Here we got some redstone ore, one's just being lit, the other one's not. Let's go ahead and blow them up. You can see how they both drop the redstone dust as well as XP. And diamonds the same way. Here's some wheat that's completely grown, let's blow it up. Notice it does drop the fully grown wheat as well as dropping the wheat seed. So here's some farmland. Now you can get the farmland block in creative, but you can't get the block in survival. When we blow it up, we just get normal dirt. Cactus can also be blown up and it'll drop its blocks. So here we have a bunch of mushroom blocks, and mushroom blocks are pretty fragile. And let's go ahead and blow them up and see what happens. So when blown up, they drop the brown and red mushroom, and they don't drop the mushroom blocks. Those you have to get from silk touching them. Vine's another fragile block that you normally can't get as an item by blowing it up. So you still need to have shears to get those. So here we have some melon stems as well as pumpkin, and let's blow them up and see if they drop their seed. You can see they do drop their seed. And these are the ones that are sitting straight up and down. Let's go over here. These are the ones that are curved. So like they're trying to be attached to something. Let's blow them up. And after blowing quite a few times, you see we don't actually get any seeds off these guys, which is pretty strange. You can get them off of the straight ones, but the ones that are curved, you don't get any seeds. So here we got some brown mushrooms as well as some white ones. We know the brown ones produce brown mushrooms, but let's try to blow up the white ones. It doesn't seem like the white ones drop anything. We got this melon block here. Let's blow it up. And that will produce the melon slices. Here we have some pretty tough blocks. So we got the end portal frames, which normally can't be destroyed, endstone, which is one of the highest blast resistant blocks, as well as dragon eggs. Those guys are both exactly the same for blast resistance. Let's try to blow them up. You see we got both the egg as well as endstone. Let's go over here by these guys. And as you expect, these frames do not blow up. Here we have a bunch of cocoa beans, and they do drop the cocoa bean item when blown up. Lily pads also drop their block. Here we got some nether wart, and we also got a enchantment table and a brewing stand. Let's try to blow them all up. So we can see that the brewing stand went ahead and dropped as a block, and so does nether wart. Enchanting table will not blow up. Here we got some emerald, ender chest, and some end portals over here. We'll try to blow these guys up. So the ender chest and the end portal will not blow up, and the emerald will drop the XP as well as the item. Here we got some flower pots as well as some skulls. Now flower pots used to be tile entities, but then they changed them so they're no longer, and skulls are still tile entities. You can see that they'll drop the flower pots as well as a flower in them, and even the skulls get dropped. You also come across some really strange blocks, such as this one here. I'm not exactly sure what I'm standing on, but there's something here. It's like an invisible wall. If I look straight down, over on the right hand side, it doesn't even recognize any block being here. It says I'm looking at some fluids, and this is the waterlogged part. But if you look at the block part, it's seeing the barriers which are way down at the ground level. There's some other variations of this that are really strange. Like here's invisible one too that you could bump up against, but you can't see it. Like you can't get any of this block outline to show. And this one here, I'm not sure where this one normally comes into the game, but you can see part of it doesn't even render. And I'm guessing this is just a water variation of this one over here. I can come over here, I could bump up against it, but I can't break it or click on it or anything like that. And usually you see something like this when it connects with something else, but I've never seen it not render on this side of it. And if you stay over here, you can pretty much look right through it. So my guess is that these have to do with the way they changed blocks in 1.9. They used to have it so that every single individual type of block was in the game. But now they change it so that they would only take like one little piece of it, and then they rotate it like 4 different ways to make all the different variations. That way they can limit the number of blocks the game has to keep track of. So here we have a beacon as well as a command block. Let's try to get these guys blown up. You can see the beacon blows up and drops as an item. So if you don't want to take time to mine the beacon out by hand, you can just blow it up. Here we got some dragon skulls, daylight sensor, and an anvil. You can see the daylight sensor and the dragon head will pop off, but the anvil will not, since the anvil's blast resistance is too high. This is pretty cool because let's say you have a large contraption that you want to tear down, and you got all these materials, but you want to save them. You could throw a TNT and blow it up, and then pick up the items, and then put down another TNT and blow some more up. As long as you don't ignite a TNT by items, because if you do that, then it will kill the items. Here we have some 2 high plants. They're just broken down into their individual parts, and they're similar to doors and beds where only one half of them will drop their item. So here we have double slabs, so if I click on it, you see there's actually 2 slabs. Let's go ahead and blow it up and make sure both slabs actually drop. Yeah, we could definitely see that 2 slabs dropped. That's good. Now here we have some chorus plant, which you can't obtain in survival, but you can get it by having a plant naturally grow. We also got a shulker box over here, and in between we have a waterlogged stair. Now the waterlogged stair should not blow up. And we did get some of the shulker boxes to drop, and the plant will not drop as a block, but instead drop as the fruit. Here we got some sea pickles as well as some coral. Now, sea pickle will drop as an item that you can pick up, but the coral will just get destroyed. Here we have some turtle eggs, and we also got some kelp. Now, the kelp is waterlogged, so we're expecting probably not to drop any of that. And it seems like the turtle eggs are just getting destroyed upon being blown up. Here we have the bamboo stalk as well as a bamboo sapling or shoot. And then we have the conduit over here. It looks like all of them dropped. We got the conduit and both bamboo. Over here in this corner, we got some bushes. We also got the barrels and a unlit campfire. Now, I notice these barrels sound like they're putting off a pretty weird noise. I turned up my volume. Isn't that just strange? I don't recall them making that noise. So this barrel here with that bung showing right there, this is the closed variation of the barrel. And this one over here is the open variation. So imagine this is like an open barrel, although it is square. You can kind of see the round side, and it's missing this top piece here. It's possible when you like open the barrel, you know how it makes that sound when you open it, similar to a chest making a sound when you open it. And for some reason, maybe because you set it as open state, it's always producing that sound. But this is what the barrels look like when you click inside of them. Noise or not, let's blow them up. So it seems that we got some barrels to blow up. We also got the bush, drop the berries. And looks like out of the campfire we got maybe some charcoal. So I guess when you blow up a campfire you get charcoal. Okay, did not know that. Here we got composters. We also got a couple of the new 1.14 utility blocks. So this is the grindstone and this is the cartography table. This one here is a fletching table. I just noticed when you right click this, normally when you're in creative you can't access this yet. If you go to spectator you can click on it and it just briefly pops up and it looks like just like a normal crafting table, which is kind of strange. But this composter here does have some compost inside of it, so let's see what happens. So it looked like the composter blew up and actually dropped some bone meal as well, which is really cool. And other things blew up and dropped their items. Here we got some lecterns. They still really haven't changed the collision box with it, because it looks like you should be able to stand here, then like up a layer and up a layer, like kind of like a little staircase, but when you actually do stand on it, the player's just standing on that center base part. We got a bale as well as some stone cutters, and they seem to both drop their items. Here we got a campfire that's on fire as well as some scaffolding blocks. And it seems the fire did drop a bunch of charcoal, and the scaffolding just dropped its block. They also came out with the bee snapshot today, and that fixed a bunch of little smaller bugs that really weren't too noticeable, but it also did fix a crashing bug, and that's normally why they come out with bee snapshots when something is crashing on servers. And this seemed to also maybe fix the rubber banding that we've been seeing with the server, so the chunks are loading a lot better than they were before, and hopefully they'll continue to fix bugs to do with loading chunks and servers. Yeah, the F5 mode is pretty trippy. A really cool change to TNT, having it drop 100% of the blocks that it can drop. This is definitely going to open up the door to using more TNT inside of farms to destroy items, especially if TNT duping still occurs in 1.14 full release. There will be less effort needed to put into trying to get the TNT to explode immediately while the items are all being pushed as block 36. But if you do want to get the most out of your TNT, pushing the blocks in block 36 form will allow the TNT to blow up more, as it will reduce the blast resistance of the blocks when it is in block 36 form. Now blocks are safe from TNT, but you still gotta worry about items. You don't want them to get destroyed. This should make TNT quarries easier to do, since you can just run the blocks directly into the TNT and not having to worry about timing the blocks being pushed and then the TNT blowing up. And you can definitely use TNT to blow up stone as well as wood, but you can also use it for some other weird stuff, such as having it blow up cactus. It's really fascinating seeing all the different stuff that TNT would allow to drop its block for stuff that would just not drop anything. And we even came across some bizarre stuff like the barrels making noises and campfires dropping charcoal, and those invisible blocks. I would love to hear what all you guys think And if you guys did find this video interesting, show it with a like, and share it with someone, and be sure you have subscribed and hit that bell button for notifications. And I'd like to thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye bye!